Yeah, I was
Well,
just saying, I met Astrid at the Irish Hip, but we connected before the Irish Hypnotherapy
we did.
Conference last year, and we were talking a lot. And yeah, it was a really, really interesting time. And we'll be back there with Louise Baker in 2 weeks. We're heading back. I don't usually mix with hypnotherapists. Right, it's saying the internet's playing up. Is it all right? Yeah, I'm okay.
It was, yeah, just now, but I think it'll be fine. I hope I'm fine with the connection.
You
So
sound good.
thank you, Anne. Thank you for inviting me to the conference. First of all, I'll follow Jake's idea because it was a great idea to put my YouTube channel into the chat and my website, but probably see it in my name as well. So, for anybody who doesn't know me, and that's quite a lot of people, I'm Astrid Harms. I'm a hypnotherapist and coach. I'm based in Amsterdam. I'm really German, but yeah, was somebody moved me to Amsterdam in 2013, and that's where I am now. I work mainly in English and with international clients from New Zealand to Canada. So, but I've also got some German clients and some Dutch clients as well. And my specialty is tinnitus. Um, but I really love the mind body connection and any chronic issues and helping people get better who have the kinds of issues where doctors say we can only help you manage, and that's arthritis, that's rare diseases, that's anything, any allergies or autoimmune diseases, all of those things where doctors scratch their head and say, no idea. Especially tinnitus was intriguing to me because nobody has a cure for it, and the reason for that is because it's so incredibly, yeah, versatile in how it shows up. Versatile sounds very positive. How it shows up and why it comes about. But today, I haven't got any slides because when I heard Louise and when I heard Dr. Olumbumi and everybody else talking about nervous system and neuroscience, I thought, let's chuck them out and let me just talk freely about the other things that nobody has touched on yet, because otherwise we'll have too much repetition. And I was thinking about doing a demo, but I think I won't because you've all been demoed out. I think you're all there have been so many demos. I'll just talk. If you have any question, put them into the chat, or I might leave some time to answer them later. So my topic is beyond visualization and how to use future visioning for better health outcomes, for deep transformation, physical transformation. And we've already heard some about that. But I was going to go specifically into one of the techniques that Anne has developed. That's the crystal tower with the three paths. And that's something I found incredibly useful out of the trainings that I've done with her. So I'm a future vision coach as well. And I've mapped it to my health hypnotherapy. So first of all, you might know that your body follows your thoughts. And for that, I would like you to just, for a moment, close your eyes and follow along with me. Just a little exercise. You could close your eyes. So now I'd like you to hold your hand out in front of your face. Just imagine that you've got a big, juicy lemon in that hand. And just move that lemon closer to your face. All the way. And just take a deep breath in. That's right. Take a deep breath in. And now open your mouth and take a big bite out of the lemon. Ah, I can see some faces saying, ouch, oh, that's disgusting. And what happened? Was there a lemon? There wasn't a lemon. So you can open your eyes again. Sorry. There wasn't a lemon really, but your body is reacting to what you are imagining. And that's what I'm talking about here. So, you had a physical response. You had the thought of "oh, disgusting," and your body might have actually reacted by just giving you saliva into your mouth, etc. And the brain is the thing that predicts for your body. The body follows the brain. We do have some evidence, and I'm really evidence-based, really, that the body also gives signals of that there's a bidirectional thing, and of course, pain signals come from the body and go back to the brain as well. But what I'm getting to is the predictive coding model. So that's a model of the world that's similar to the nervous system, or is part of the description that the nervous system is implicated in. And that means any experience you have from your childhood or even before your childhood, all the way up to being grown up, is going to impact the way you see and predict the world. And that is something that happens unconsciously. And as we just noticed, the body follows the brain, the body follows whatever is going on in your mind. So the most important thing about your subconscious mind or your nervous system, I sometimes use them interchangeably, even though there are differences. It predicts where threat is and where safety is. So even depression, even disease can keep you safe in some way, shape, or form. And immune reactions are usually something your body is protecting you from something. It made sense of it a long time ago, and now it's still protecting you. And a lot of times, what also happens is that the stress you've had in your childhood, in your youth, or in, I work a lot with people with chronic issues who have been in toxic relationships, who have narcissistic parents, or, who live in a workplace where too much is being expected of them. So either acute stress or chronic stress and ongoing stress, they cause those physical responses of cortisol. So in acute stress, you know this probably, you're expecting a tiger behind the bush, and your cortisol, your adrenaline rises, and your body is getting you ready to fight or flight. That is the sympathetic state of the nervous system, the stress and fight or flight mode that we have. And what we really want to be thriving is the other state. So Dr. Olumbumi talked about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic and the polyvagal theory. I only use the two states because that's the biggest scientific basis in my case. So we want to get the body into a parasympathetic state, that is rest and digest or feed and breed. If somebody's dealing with infertility, very often they're stuck in this chronic stress response as well. And of course, there's physical stressors as well, environmental toxins, there's medications, there's other things that influence the body. However, what I do with my clients is, as much as possible, when there's no way to take medication or have a surgery or anything that makes you better, I help them heal through activating the parasympathetic response again, the relaxation, so that you get out of this, I'm stressed, I need to do things, I'm hyper alert, that your brain is predicting for you, that it's keeping you alert all the time because there's always potential danger. So I'm trying to take my clients out of that and into a calm state, into a positive state. So that's the basis of my work, and I anchor that state as well. And so here's my notes. So this applies to things like chronic pain, like fibromyalgia, like arthritis, as I said, allergies, tinnitus distress, and tinnitus itself, where inflammation is concerned. That can often happen with infections or other things that are going on the neck, or any other issues. IBS has been has an evidence base in hypnosis that it's one of the best therapies for IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And then we have all sorts of psychosomatic issues that come about. And again, autoimmune or neurological conditions, FND, functional neurological disorder, dysautonomia, which is they're very closely related to the nervous system overreacting. So, and the reason I use hypnosis, and very deep hypnosis in this case, and not just talking or meditation approaches, is because hypnosis takes you into a different state of even brain state, and it disconnects your conscious thinking, and we've already heard this, and takes away that critical voice. So you can just experience whatever it is you would like to experience in your mind, whether that is going up to spirit, and I've done this before as well, or I do this as well if clients would like to, or if I feel that it's appropriate, but also going into a future where the stress is taken away. And the second basic thing that we need to know about the brain is that your body, when your brain is getting this input, this visualization, this deep visualization, your body doesn't know what is present and what is future. So if you are traveling to the future, you are in that future. Your body is in that future, and your body can heal. So the approach that I take, or that's my favorite approach, the Crystal Tower, has three paths, three journeys. One is going into the future 5 years and nothing has changed. So you are still, dealing with your illness, with your condition, and nothing has changed. You're still on the same medication or still doing the same things, and you're still feeling as crap as you did before, if you are feeling crap. But most people who come to hypnotherapists want to get rid of it. So that is, you see the consequences of the behavior if you stay stuck in that loop, and there's some regret attached to it, and that's activating the brain areas to the way that you are living right at the moment, and the habits that are connected to that. The second path is the corrected future, you could call it. So take away any obstacles, any regrets from that first path that you've taken, and imagine a future that is in the way where all those regrets, all the things that you think you did wrong are taken away. And that usually gives this improved future. Your body's already like, oh yeah, I could do that. I'm going to do that. I'm doing it. So you're really being taken into this future as this imagination into the present. You're pulling it towards you. And the third part, when you've done that already, is the ideal future. What would happen if nothing stood in your way? Not even the last bits that you usually have that critical voice for, but you've got kids, you can't do that, or you don't have the money. If any of that was taken away, what is that future? And that's what I'll take you to. And this is usually the most beautiful future where all dreams have been fulfilled, and we work on having the physical sensation. So I will leave my clients in that physical sensation for as long as possible. What that does is it starts this physical cascade from the stress hormones. Usually you have the stress hormones coming down and telling all the organs, all the parts of your body, the autonomous nervous system to do this, to constrict your blood vessels, to that, and to produce immune inflammatory markers in your blood, and create all those functions that are causing the chronic issue that you have, or contributing to that chronic issue that you have. And in that ideal future, as a contrast, you are giving yourself these amazing positive ideas, the future, the perfect future. You're happy. You are, oh my God, I can do this. I'm actually doing this. And you are bathing in those happy hormones and happy neurotransmitters, and your memories that you've had from your past, all of that becomes slightly flatter. And especially if you take out the negative memories beforehand with a sort of emotional detox of sorts, then any of that's gone will be filled up to a certain extent with this ideal future. And then what I do is I anchor that state so that you can recall it at any time. And this is something, because your subconscious mind, or your brain, is then in a susceptible state with hypnosis, and you are relaxed and you can recall that state, and you can practice it at home. The negative body functions that you have, they are not activated as much, or they're completely replaced by the positive ones. And I've had great successes as well, especially with rare diseases, where stressors that you can't really deal with, or that you can't really change from the past, from a divorce. I've had somebody, and this is on my YouTube channel actually, with myasthenia gravis, who's lost his daughter in a divorce, who hasn't seen her in years, in about 10 years, I think now. And he's recovered almost completely. So all the symptoms are gone. No, okay, let me rephrase that, because we are not completely recovering. We're only in complementary therapy, of course. But all the symptoms have gone away of that rare disease, because of course the genetics, etc., are still there. But he's living a symptom-free life. And this is what I find so incredible about future vision hypnosis, because you are not in this state of yeah, I could change this, but, and all the buts and all the obstacles that you have in the way, they're completely gone. And this, and I've learned this, of course, personally in the trainings with Anne. It just pulls the future towards you, and that's what Anne has said a lot of times. It just seems to make everything happen quicker that you normally think is going to take ages. And in the best case, we pull all of that into the present, into the now. So that new future, that most ideal future, that emotion, it might wear off a little bit, or that state over time. But in the session, it's incredibly strong, and it might even change. This is not yet completely evidence. It might even change the epigenetic expression of genes, meaning that the genes that you have in your body that are normally in charge of producing the neurotransmitters and all of those things that you have in your body, to change those to react to this new positive reality that you've created. So we're kind of time traveling, and we're taking the future into our bodies now. And afterwards, most clients have a lot more this baseline calm state instead of being completely anxious. So what very often happens is that clients with tinnitus especially are anxious or depressed, but they have a much more positive outlook in general, because you are taking away the old prediction and you're building a new one. And that's why this model is so important. And sorry, I was just reading if there's any questions. And this is actually a research branch called psychoneuroimmunology. And this is an amazing thing that I love to research, because hypnotherapy or hypnosis is usually so, yeah, a bit woo-woo for many people, but there is actually an evidence base behind it. And that's even behind future vision hypnosis. And this is just a small excerpt of what I will be presenting in 2 weeks' time. Is it 2 weeks' time at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference? And I've kind of cut a bit out because you've already had this on repeat. Today, well, I would be on repeat. So what we get is this emotional contrast from before and the after. And because you have the hypnosis, the hypnotherapy, or the trance to go with it, it's much more effective than any talk therapy you can do. So I'm just a big fan of it. And a key point to make is that people don't just suffer from the condition they have. They don't just suffer from the physical side of it. Most people will suffer because of the thoughts about it and how their brain predicts their life will go. Because doctors especially tend to have this authority. So if a doctor says there's nothing you can do, this will stay, we can only manage it, this is how you live. And your own vision, your own future vision, gives you a different input, if you know what I mean. And if you change the prediction that the brain has, you're actually physically changing the symptom, the system to some extent. Anything else? Okay, I've got a lot of sources for this, but I'm not going to necessarily give them to you. If you'd like them, I'm happy to send them to you. So just send me a message. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, Anne's going to have an offer from me as well. I think that's it already from me. I'm at 20 minutes. Sorry. Oh, you need to unmute yourself, Anne.
Good thinking. My brain fries by the time I get halfway through
Sorry.
these things.
I tried
No,
to
no,
keep
it's
it as
not.
simple as
No,
possible.
it's the day. The day is quite thinking about 20 different things. Astrid's offering 22% off the first session or packages booked until July the 10th, 2026. tinnitus, allergies, chronic psychosomatic, inflammatory. Everyone's got inflammation, autoimmune, stress-related issues. Yeah, everybody has. So I will put all those details over. But one thing I wanted to mention when I first started working with this, and it started to really take off, and I started to put on a little training. A couple of the big names said, "Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't. You're all you're doing is giving yourself competition. That these other people are just doing what you do. You're taking it away from yourself." And I went, "Actually, I think it's the other way round." And one day, it's like Astrid's working with this. It's much more refined than what I do. And as I said, I don't do false modesty. But it is much more refined than what I do. And that's why I end up collaborating with various people that have trained with me, because often they got skills I haven't, or they got ways of seeing things, or they take it much further than what I do. And I really genuinely mean this. This isn't any false modesty. So I really think that there's a conversation we need to have, Astrid, about what we can do with this, because
Hmm.
I really like the way you've refined it, and the mind body. When I was a little kid, my dad used to talk about psychosomatic illness because he'd been in the psychiatric unit from the war. So many of people in wartime have breakdowns, don't they? And he ended up in the psychiatric unit, post-traumatic stress, and he was well aware of psychosomatic illnesses. Now, many things he had wrong with him that was stress related or the mind created. So I grew up with that in a time when people didn't.
Mm.
Uh, and I think I think there's something there that's more to be done. So I think in
Definitely, yeah.
Ireland, let's have a cup of tea and we'll have a conversation. I will come to your talk. I don't think we're on at the same time. That'll be
I don't think we
fascinating.
are, no. But one thing I need to say is that
Yeah.
psychosomatic, many doctors take that to say it's all in your head.
Mm.
And that's invalidating, especially women's experience very often. So just it's not just all in your head. There is actually a physiological basis for it. And that did once start in the mind, but it is happening in the body now. It's automated.
I think this is really interesting subject. I really think this is an interesting subject, and I know that I've been able to change my health by focusing, visualizing. I cured IBS. Doctor said there's no cure. Actually, it was when I left my ex-husband it went, but I think that had a lot to do with it.
Stress, yeah. You know, I've
It
had
is,
clients
yeah.
who've left their marriages because of our sessions.
Yeah. Oh, wow. There you go.
Sometimes
That's
you're like, oh God, you've got to leave him, but you can't say it. You're not allowed to, but they come to that insight on their own. Or somebody who left their job because of it, because they
I
came
can
to
really
insight.
understand it. That was
Mm.
really fascinating, and I really think we need to
Thank
do this over 2 days that we can have time, more time. But I will be everybody that's shown up. You will get all the detail. Yeah, look at that fantastic presentation. Thank you. Yeah, thought provoking. Yeah, really, really interesting.
thank you.